Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Taylor, co-owner of VeganProteins online coaching. And today we're going to do a little bit of a story time that I hope can help you avoid some of the pitfalls that I fell into when I started pursuing fitness a long time ago. All right, so this is going to be a little bit of a story time, bits and pieces of which I've shared in other videos. So if you want to go back and watch my I Made All the Mistakes So You Don't Have To video, there's quite a bit of that in there. Or What Nobody Tells You About Massive Weight Loss, there's quite a bit in there. Those are two good videos to watch after this one if you are interested. But when I was around like 18 years old, I started actively pursuing weight loss. Now I had gone vegan into my 16th year and lost 30 pounds kind of by accident, just by doing that. I started at just over 210 pounds. And the next time I went to the doctor a few months later, I was like 180 something, but it wasn't on purpose. But this was the first point in my life that I started to think, oh, maybe I'm not just large because of my genetics. Maybe it's actually like what I've been eating and doing, which looking back, duh, but at the time when that's all you know, that's all you know. After that, I started actively pursuing weight loss. And I had this picture in my head of what I was gonna look like when I reached my goal weight. And I pursued that, like shotgunned it. I restricted my calories a lot. I did a ton of cardio, and eventually I ended up losing 90 pounds total, which put me in the ballpark of 120 pounds, which was actually lower than my initial goal weight was. Then the reason it was lower is because when I reached my first goal weight, which goal weights are silly in the first place, but you know, a lot of people have them and I certainly did. My goal weight initially was 130. When I got there, yes, I could buy smaller clothes, but really I was just like the same shape that I was when I was bigger. I was just a smaller version of that. And I really didn't like how it looked. It is not even close to what I pictured in my head. So I thought, oh, well, I must just have more fat to lose. And I lost another 10 pounds. And at this point, weight loss was getting much, much harder. I was having to dip my calories pretty low. My energy was starting to suffer. I didn't feel very good. I was having to devote a ton of my day to paying attention to my food and my exercise. And I still didn't look the way they wanted to. You know, looking back now, I can see this was very disordered, but at the time, having never done any kind of like diet or anything before, I didn't realize what was going on. I was quite young. I was between 18 and 19 at this point, and I just didn't realize how screwed up what was going on actually was. And I think this is true for a lot of people in the throes of disordered eating. They don't realize how far down the rabbit hole they kind of are. Anyway, 120 pounds. Still didn't like how it looked. And back in the day, I was getting all of these like Oxygen magazine and Muscle and Fitness Hers. I was starting to learn how to lift. I realized, oh, well, the reason I don't look like these women is because I don't have enough muscle. So what I need to do is I need to learn how to lift. This was one of the best things that I ever did for so many reasons. But even though I decided to learn how to lift and I started lifting weights 5 days a week, I saw a little bit of change, but still not what I expected. And the reason for this is because I was still in a caloric restrictive mindset. And it took years for me to figure out that the problem was that I was still in dieting mode mentally. My food intake was not supporting muscle growth. So there was no amount of dieting. There was no amount of cutting fat that was going to show this muscular, svelte, sculpted physique because it didn't exist. And the reason that I'm making this video is because so many of you are in the same boat, especially women, but men too. They think that the answer is,
oh, I just have to lose a little bit more fat.
I just have to lose a little bit more fat.
But if the muscle isn't there, there is nothing to show. It's not there, it's not underneath. And still dieting and starting to lift weights, even if you increase your protein, you're gonna make very minimal progress and then it's gonna stall. The answer is to deliberately take a break from dieting. Deliberately eat more calories at the bare minimum maintenance calories, preferably a small surplus for like 6, 12, 18 months. I need you to deliberately build muscle. And that might actually give you the physique you want right there. You might not even have to do anything after that point once you build muscle. You might be like, oh yeah, there it is, because you didn't have the muscle before. So it's no wonder you didn't have those muscular sculpted curves, right? Some people might, after a muscle building phase, decide, okay, now I'm gonna deliberately try to lose 5 pounds of body fat and expose the muscle that I've just built. And that's fine too. But this idea that the answer is just, I just need to lose more fat indefinitely, and there's this magical physique underneath, like, you're kidding yourself. It's not there. And that's not me throwing shade, because I did the exact same thing for like an embarrassingly long period of time. And I'm 37 years old now. I started this when I was 18, 19 years old. And if I could go back and change one thing, I have one major regret in my fitness journey. And it was that I spent so much of that precious beginning of my fitness journey friggin' dieting in a restrictive mindset. I wasted so much of my hormonal prime trying to just lose body fat and expose muscle that didn't exist. If I had just started eating sufficiently and lifting heavy when I was 18 or 19, I still think my physique would be significantly better today. So that is my piece of advice for you. Stop thinking that your dream body is at the end of an eternal diet, because it's not. Some of the people that I know that have the best physiques on earth were athletes in high school. They were exercising and lifting and doing various types of resistance training and eating sufficiently in high school. And those are the people that have a great foundation. Now, I was not an athlete in high school. I was in the marching band, holla. Even after that point, yes, I started lifting. That was wonderful. However, if the food is not there to support it, you're not gonna build the muscle, and it just wasn't. So it wasn't until I was like 23 years old that I finally like put the pieces together, like, oh, this is disordered. I'm not eating enough to get the results that I want. And a lot of you guys are not eating enough to get the results that you want either. I really hope that this is helpful for you guys to hear, you know, myself, who eventually I turned it around. I built a lot of muscle. I became a successful vegan figure competitor. And now I've coached many people to do similar feats or reach their dream results or what have you. And a lot of times I had to kind of twist their arm into eating more, because they're like, no, Danny, I'm just gonna get fat if I do that. And I'm like, no, one, you're not when we do this appropriately. And two, you're never gonna get this result that you think exists if you try to skip this step. You cannot skip this step. You have to deliberately get strong, build muscle. And that means not dieting. If you are somebody like me who comes from a history of obesity, I think it's even harder to break out of this diet mindset, because it's not like you had 10 or 20 pounds to lose. Many of us had to, in order to lose the weight we were trying to lose, be in a caloric deficit for sometimes a couple of years. So backtracking on that and deliberately trying to eat more, I think can be, I mean, it's like changing your whole identity into somebody that doesn't diet. That's really challenging. So I empathize with that, but I would still highly encourage you to explore that route, because it makes all the difference in the world. Your body's gonna perform better. You're gonna feel better, sleep better. Your relationships are gonna improve, because guess what? Dieting people are cranky. Your strength is gonna get better. Your energy is gonna get better. Your immune system is gonna get better. And you're gonna be moving closer towards the body that you're trying to create. It is like a win-win-win-win. That doesn't mean it's not without challenges, because it has challenges, but definitely worth pursuing. If this is something you guys want to learn more about, let me know down in the comments. I love to hear what you have to say and your own experiences. If you are looking for any kind of coaching through this kind of mentally challenging phase, you can reach out to us at VeganProteins.com. We have a coaching application right on the site, or if you want to join our Muscles by Brussels membership to join a like-minded community of vegan athletes, you are welcome to do that as well. We'll leave all of that in the show notes down below. Looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things I'm supposed to tell you to do at the end of a YouTube video, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.